right, y'all, let's take this walk. We're at a truck stop in Georgia. Let me see if I can locate exactly where it is that I am. For now, the location is somewhere in Georgia, along I-75. Yeah, let me see where I'm at. Hopefully, okay, here we go. Here we go. I'm gonna tell you right now. By the way, this is the parking of a truck stop. Take a good look. Look over my shoulder, look over my head, look over both my shoulders. I'm in Cartersville, Georgia. I just consumed a lot of content from a number of creators. Most of them from a Facebook group that I'm a part of. It's a group that's par excellence, okay? Look how full this thing is. And now we're headed toward the building that houses all the mechanics and the restaurants and the restrooms and the showers and the lounge so that drivers can get out of the truck. Maybe they don't have AC in their truck, but they'll come in here, enjoy the AC available inside. I mean, if you think about it, none of the stuff that I just mentioned is free. You know, maintaining this lot here, look at all the tar. Could you imagine what it would cost to retar this whole place? It would cost a fortune. It would cost a fortune. And then the mechanic shop has got all kinds of things that have to conform to regulations, right? State and federal regulations. You can't just dump oil from the trucks if you're doing oil change or whatever, anything that has to be secured. I mean, this is all regulatory stuff. And that's money. The AC units, maintaining them. It's a fairly big place. Let me get to a position where you can see it. So this isn't, I mean, look at this. They're gonna have to redo this soon. That's a lot of money. You got a drainage system here. Okay, regulatory stuff. You got to get licenses, you got to get permits. None of this stuff is free. As a business, these are all things that they have to take into consideration. The average person who has never had a business before, they don't think of any of this. They don't think of the costs associated with any of this. This doesn't mean anything to them. They just come in, use the facility, leave, and it's a wrap. The average person who has never had a business in their life doesn't have a clue as to what it is to have a business. Which brings me to Tara Helms. Guys, I left a link in the description for both her channels. I call her the professor. She comes in with some high-powered content, thought-provoking, deeply thought-provoking. And the last video I saw, which she posted recently, had to do with something going on with Etsy. It's best you go to her channel. Again, the description is in the link is in the description below. It's best you go to her channel and get it straight from her, because I'm not going to be able to do it justice. The way she presented it, I'm not going to be able to do it justice. So it's best for you to go. But it's about some complication that's going on with the corporation named Etsy. If you guys aren't familiar with Etsy, it's an online store or stores. Not sure how they got it laid out completely, but it's something akin to Amazon. They're Amazon's competitor with online shopping. However, Tara mentioned something about some difficulty with some of the vendors because initially Etsy was set up so that you can find and purchase things that are unusual, things that aren't easy to find and purchase anywhere else. I hope I got that straight. My focus is on, because I didn't know at the moment when I commented on her site, on her video, I left a comment, but the comment that I left didn't have the approach of someone who knew whether or not Etsy was a privately held company or a publicly held company, and there's a difference. And one major difference, which goes to the complaint that some of those merchants were making, and even Tara had, I wouldn't say a complaint, but she definitely had a concern because she does frequent Etsy to purchase hard to find objects or things that are not mass produced. Let's just say it like that. So it's a lot of personalized stuff. Okay, yeah, you see the building in the back? They got an assortment of restaurants in there. But before I go in there, now Etsy, I didn't know, so I looked into it. Etsy is publicly owned. In other words, they sell stocks. When a company sells stocks, there's a different type of dynamic as far as management is concerned. Because when you're privately held, you can pretty much, of course, provided that you're generating the revenue necessary for your company to stay afloat, but whatever reason the business was created, you can stay on that track. You don't have to please anybody else. Well, your customers, of course, but you're not concerned with creating more value to your business than what it already has in order for you to pursue, you being the business owner, in order for you to pursue your passion. Maybe your passion is knitted clothes, for example. Well, you like to create a business so that people who know how to knit and knit a variety of things can go on your site and sell their knitted goods. Of course, some knitted goods are going to be better and sell more than others, in which case, if it's privately held, you're not going to be all that concerned about that. However, if you're publicly held, the board has a legal responsibility to the shareholders to increase the value of their shares. That's a responsibility that the board has. So the board has to do whatever it takes to make sure that those share values continue going up. If I remember correctly. Comment below if I'm off. But that's what I remember. I'm going by memory here. So that's what it is when in the stock for brokerages, for brokers, you have something called fiduciary. When a broker is a fiduciary, when a stockbroker is the individual or the brokerage itself, when it's a fiduciary, it's got a responsibility to do things to the benefit of the customer. In other words, I'm not going to sell you some the stock of some company that has the potential for you to lose your money. So I sell you the stocks, then I short the stock knowing that it's going to go down in value. And no, you're not supposed to do that as a broker, as a fiduciary. Interestingly enough, during the Trump administration, I don't know if they were successful at it, but they wanted to eliminate that responsibility that brokers had. He wanted to eliminate the fiduciary status. Basically, get scammed. He is allowing you to get scammed. It's a very important difference. Etsy is publicly owned. So there are shares of Etsy that are being sold, and the board of directors. Hey, mi hermano! There are, wow, this guy knew me, I didn't know him. Ha. And, so the board of directors of the corporation has to focus on the value of the stocks and their shareholders. Otherwise, they can be sued. Yeah, the board can be sued for that. If the shareholders are under the impression that the board is not making enough of an effort to keep or increase the value of their shares, then yeah, they can file a lawsuit against the board of directors. It's so much fun. It's so much fun. But I want to encourage you guys, please head on over to Tara's channel, because the way she breaks it down, the information that she's providing, I won't be able to do it justice. I'm only putting in my 2 cents about the dynamic and very briefly also, the dynamic of how a privately held corporation is managed as opposed to a publicly held corporation. So, where's my, I gotta make sure Kitty doesn't get out of control. Let me see where Kitty is. Kitty, where are you, Kitty? I gotta locate Kitty. Kitty, where are you? Okay. All right, there you are. All right, so go take a ride with Kitty, guys.
Arabam Dacia, seviyorum çift kalem aça. Göremedi kimseden fayda. İşler.
Oh, don't forget that step. Don't forget that elbow. Good swing. Good job. Go ahead. Go ahead. Swing hard. Swing hard. Swing at that thing. Swing at that thing hard. Yeah, like that. Yep, I think that's it.